I swear, man, Jim Cornette pissed me off so bad yesterday to the point where I went straight to the gym after his fucking video comparing Eddie Kingston to the fucking GOAT, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That got me so pissed off. I had to hit the fucking gym straight after the fucking video. Like, dude, that video pissed me off so bad, especially the comment section in that video. I almost threw up from the idiots who wrote some of the most dick-sucking, pandering bullshit I've ever seen in the comment section. See, AEW fans are some of the worst human beings, man. And here's why. I used to like Eddie Kingston. Before Jim Cornette made that dumb video, I had no problems with Eddie Kingston. He was whatever to me. He didn't bother me. But I'm similar to Vince McMahon, and here's why. When you hype up somebody to me, when you overhype them to me, guess what? I will turn on them and I will show you they are not that guy. That's what Vince does. When you constantly hype up a wrestler to him, guess what? He will turn on that wrestler and prove to you that wrestler is not that guy. I'm just like Vince in that kind of way. So, you idiots keep telling me, nigga, I heard the whole video of what Jim said. I heard the whole thing. And it was disgusting. It was pandering. Haven't you noticed this? How come Jim Cornette never said anything bad about his precious XROH guys? It makes me think, hold on, Jim Cornette, you like Kyle O'Reilly, right? Mr. Bland, no charisma, Kyle O'Reilly, but you hate Kenny Omega? Look, I'm not a fan of Omega, but it doesn't take a genius to fucking know Kenny Omega is way better than the fucking Undisputed Era. Let's just keep it all the way funky. And guess what? I'm objective, and I ain't a fan of Kenny Omega, but I'm not a dumbass. When it comes to a talent level perspective, in-ring perspective, Kenny Omega is way better than Adam Cole. He's way better than Fish. He's better than Roderick Strong. He's better than fucking Kyle O'Reilly. And yet, Cornette hates him. Because Omega was never a full-time wrestler in ROH. Jim Cornette never had words with him. So he's biased. So he hypes up Eddie Kingston. Stone Cold parallels, huh? But you hate Jon Moxley, a guy you've never met. But you've met Eddie Kingston, which makes you biased. You booked Eddie Kingston in ROH, which makes you biased. You never met Jon Moxley, which makes you a biased dude. On what planet? Okay, you compare this parallel between Stone Cold and Eddie Kingston, but you bury Jon Moxley. Why? Eddie Kingston can't hold Jon Moxley jockstrap. And guess what? I'm not a fan of Moxley. And guess what? I'm fucking objective. But it does not take genius to realize Kingston is not on Moxley's level. So how dare you you bury Jon Moxley every week, but you praise bus driver looking Eddie Kingston? You call Jon Moxley a plumber. So if he's a plumber, what the fuck is Eddie? Eddie Kingston looks like Jon Moxley's plumbing co-worker. He looks like a plumbing co-worker in a plumbing company. So how dare you bury John Moxley and not bury Eddie Kingston? What's so special about Eddie Kingston? There's no parallels. Let me repeat. There are no parallels between Stone Cold and Eddie Kingston. Zero parallels, okay? Let me get this straight. How old is your precious Eddie Kingston? What? I think he's like, guess what? He's pushing 40. Let me repeat so I can sink this in your fucking brain. He's pushing 40 years old. He is 39. He's pushing 40 years old. Let me repeat. Where are the parallels between him and Stone Cold? This guy is just now getting an organic rise. Pushing 40 years old? That's a parallel to Stone Cold? Nigga, Stone Cold was, I think he was retired at 40, wasn't he? He was fucking retired at age 40, wasn't he? He was damn near out the fucking ring. He was a fucking GM. He was done with wrestling. And now Eddie is this young star now? Nigga, for a whole year, he was coattail riding John Moxley. Put some respect on Moxley's name, because John Moxley gave him shine. He gave him the rub. Kingston was like nobody. John Moxley gave him the rub by being seen with him. So all of a sudden he's Stone Cold? There's parallels? After John Moxley put this guy over by being his tag team partner for a whole year? So he's more Stone Cold than Moxley? There's no parallels. Let me give you a little quick backstory on Stone Cold for you youngsters out there. There's no parallels. When Stone Cold was in WCW, he was a cosplay Ric Flair, studying Steve Austin. Then he got switched to a tag team guy with Brian Pillman, the Hollywood Blondes, which was a totally different gimmick from Stunning Steve when he was wearing a fucking robe. Totally different character. Then he got fired because he was always getting injured. He had injury issues, so there was no upside, so they cut him. So he goes to ECW, and he has an identity crisis. He just becomes himself. He just becomes a real guy, right? That character he was in ECW, it was a prelude to what he will become years later. So he goes to the WWF. Vince finds out he is a ringmaster in the ring. He is a good worker, so he named him the fucking ringmaster. Another identity crisis issue. So far he's had multiple characters before turning into Stone Cold Steve Austin. So the ringmaster failed. He tells Vince, "Hey, I want to be myself. This ringmaster shit ain't working out." So Vince said, "Bet. All right, cool. All right, just be yourself. Come up with a new name. All right, cool. All right." So his wife named him Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he plays himself, really. And the character that he was, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the reason it got so over, because we never seen anything like that before. There was no Stone Cold Steve Austin before Stone Cold, which made him original and organic. We never seen it before. All we've seen was pandering faces like Hogan, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. At that time, the fans were over Hogan. They were over Shawn Michaels. They were over Bret Hart. They wanted something new and fresh. Stone Cold gave them something fresh that they'd never seen before. There was no Stone Cold Steve Austins in the 80s. There were no Stone Cold Steve Austins in the early 90s. He was fresh. He was different. The fans gravitated towards that. We never seen that before. A guy that we don't know if he's a face or is he a heel. We don't know. All we know is he is a badass and he is whooping ass. He don't care who you are. He's gonna fuck you up. He don't care if you're a face or a fucking heel. He don't trust nobody. Okay, he was a loner, right? He got himself over. Eddie Kingston is not a loner. He rode the coattail of John fucking Moxley, a former WWE legend superstar. Stone Cold didn't ride nobody's coattails. DTA, don't trust anybody. He was a fucking loner. He got himself over. So that's a little quick context on there's no parallels here. And guess what, bitch? Stone Cold, when he got signed by the WWF, right? He was like, what, 28, 30, 29? He was still a young guy, right? He was still young. He was still young, new and fresh, with a bright future, right? Eddie Kingston has been wrestling for 20-something years. He's never changed his character. He's been the same guy. He's 39 years old, pushing 40. He's been this guy for 20-some years. So why are you telling me he is this real guy? He's so real. He's so genuine. You relate to him. How? How do we relate to this guy? He's been this way for 20-some years. So where was your fan support 10 years ago? Where was your fan support 5, 10, 15 years ago for this guy? If he's so real, you fucking relate to him, right? He's so real, he's so genuine. Okay, then how come the WWF didn't want him? You do know he tried out, right? He tried out for the WWE. And guess what? They ain't want him. He was in ROH, CZW. He was in Japan. He was in Impact Wrestling. Eddie Kingston has been this same character for over 20-something fucking years. So how is he just not over? How are you just now seeing him? You're just now finding out he's a real guy? You are a fucking liar. He's been this way for 20-something years. Stone Cold was not. He went from being a Ric Flair cosplay, ringmaster, Hollywood blonde, to Stone Cold Steve Austin, a brand new, fresh character we never seen before. But with Eddie Kingston, nigga, we've seen multiple guys similar to fucking Eddie Kingston. So where are the parallels here? I'll wait. Where are the fucking parallels? I see none. Are you serious? He's pushing 40 years old. And you were comparing his rise to Steve Austin? How? Steve Austin was 28, 30, 31. He was still a young guy. When he got signed by the WWF, he was still young. See what I'm saying? There's no parallels here. Austin was organic. He was original. There's nothing original about Eddie Kingston. There's nothing original. He's been the same guy for 20-some years. So why is he just now rising now? Oh, right, because he's working with CM Punk. Where was this rise 5 months ago? Eddie Kingston has been the same character for 20-something fucking years, bitch. Why are you sucking his dick now? You're fucking pandering. Your company, AEW, is so dead. You are comparing him to fucking Stone Cold. Why? He's pushing 40 years old. Austin was still young when he got his strong push. He was still young. Okay, so there's no parallels here. Are you fucking sick? There's no parallels, bitch. Zero. So I hope I explained it to you when it comes to your precious Eddie Kingston. He's not. He ain't Stone Cold. There's no parallels. There's zero comparisons here. Stone Cold. Do you know the ratings that they got before Stone Cold became Stone Cold? In 1996, they were averaging 2.2 viewers per Monday. Compare that to Nitro. They were averaging what I think they was averaging fucking 4. They was averaging I think like a 3.5 on Nitro. Once Vince pushed Stone Cold to the fucking moon, eventually Raw got 6 million, 8 million viewers per week, thanks to Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I ask you, there's no parallels here. Zero parallels. Stone Cold wasn't Stone Cold for fucking 15, 20 years, homie. Fucking Eddie Kingston was the same Eddie Kingston for the past 20-something years. So, Jim Cornette, there's no parallels here, brother. There's zero parallels here. Stone Cold is the greatest of all time. It's insulting to compare any fucking babyface underdog to this guy. It's insulting. Stop it. Now, there was this dumbass said that Shawn Michaels is the GOAT. How? He almost killed the WWF as a top guy with a Bret Hart. How? Did you see the WWF from 93 to 95? He almost killed it as the top guy. So, nigga, in order to call yourself a GOAT, you gotta be a draw, you gotta be a high merch seller, and you gotta drive in high TV ratings, which Shawn Michaels didn't do neither. Ric Flair didn't do neither. There's only 2 guys behind Stone Cold, and that's The Rock and Hulk Hogan. Those are the top 3 GOATs of all time. They had the most merch sales. They drew the highest TV ratings. And they drew the most ticket sales. That is a GOAT when it comes to being a professional wrestler. Bitch. That's all I'm fucking saying. That's what a GOAT is. It's not about how talented you are in the fucking ring. How much money are you fucking drawing? That's what makes a fucking draw. That's what makes you a GOAT in pro wrestling. How much money are you actually drawing in? I don't care if you got 5-star matches. Who cares? I don't draw. Stone Cold drew the most money in wrestling history. He made Vince a fucking billionaire. Okay, he made Vince a fucking billionaire. Still to this day, niggas is still wearing Austin 316 shirts. What part of that don't you understand? There's no parallels, there's no comparisons here. Steve Austin was a mainstream star, bigger than fucking Hogan. Let's talk about a show called Nash fucking Bridges, right? Nash Bridges. Go and Google every episode that Steve Austin appeared on that show. Guess what? Every episode he appeared on, it got the highest ratings in that show's history. So, yes, he is the GOAT. Undisputed GOAT. He was an attraction, a superstar, a draw. He drew outside of wrestling and inside of wrestling. He was a mainstream star. And he made The Rock who he is today. And here's why. Do you remember back when Stone Cold was, I guess he was a mid-carder, about to be a main eventer? Remember his feud with the Nation of Domination? Remember when The Rock was just a lackey? Remember he was only feuding with fucking Farouk? Okay, so Austin realized that Farouk is not a good promo. He can't talk good, right? So he felt like the feud was getting kind of stale based on Farouk not being a good talker. So guess what he did? He went to Vince and Bruce and he said, hey, I want to work with that kid, The Rock. I want to work with that kid, Rocky Maivia. He got a ton of potential. I think if we switch feuds with him, me and him can make money. I think he has it. He has something. Let me put this kid over. I think we can work something out. And well, the rest is history. If it wasn't for Stone Cold Steve Austin, there would be no Rock. The Rock was a lackey in the Nation of Domination. Stone Cold Steve Austin saw potential in that kid. And he put him over. The Rock is indebted to fucking Stone Cold for the rest of his life. And he knows it. Stone Cold put over The Rock. He made him who he is today. He chose him. Didn't you realize how weird it was when Stone Cold just switched from Ron Simmons to Rocky Maivia out of nowhere? That was Stone Cold's idea. He chose The Rock. Nobody else saw potential in The Rock besides Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's why he's the GOAT. He created a fucking megastar in the fucking Rock. He saw potential in that kid. See, that's what a rub is, CM Punk. That's what a real rub is, bitch. That's facts. That's what a rub is. He made The Rock into a fucking star. If The Rock failed as a member of the Nation of Domination, he probably would have gotten cut. That was his last straw, really. That was his last chance. If it didn't work out with them, he was going to be gone. Stone Cold saved his career. Who else? Didn't Stone Cold put over Kane? Didn't he put over Mick Foley? He put over Triple H. Oh, hold on. Who did Kane beat for his first world title? Oh, right. It was Stone Cold Steve Austin. How come Hogan didn't do that? How come Hogan wasn't putting over dudes in his prime? Shit. Austin put over Taker, Kane, The Rock, Triple H, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels. He put over everybody on his way to the fucking top. That's what a real star does. That's why he's the GOAT. He made Kane. He made Triple H. He made The Rock. He kept Taker relevant. You see what I'm saying? He made Jericho. He made Kurt Angle. Austin made stars. He wasn't selfish. He made stars. He gave everybody the fucking rub. And that's why he's the fucking GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He drew the most money. He sold the most tickets. He sold the most shirts. He sold the most merchandise. He made Vince into a fucking billionaire. He drove WCW out of fucking business. How is he not the GOAT? You do know the WWF was dying before he became Stone Cold, right? Oh, for some reason, you guys don't want to give him no credit for that, right? You don't want to give him no credit for that. See, I don't give a fuck about work rate. Nigga, I care about how much are you drawing. It's like what Al Snow said. Al Snow said, whatever match draws the most money is the best match on the card. I don't care how you spin it. That's what Al Snow said. And I fully agree. Whoever draws the most money, that is the must-see match. That's the best match on the card, hands down. Whichever match draws the most money. And Stone Cold always drew the most money. He had the best matches, really. That's facts. So yes, I was pissed the fuck off that Jim compared Eddie Kingston to Stone Cold. That's an insult. You can't compare every fucking underdog, badass babyface to Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's fucking lazy. You can't do it. It's an insult. You're saying, oh, it's easy to be Stone Cold. That's what you're saying. We did this with Becky Lynch. We did this with CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens. Hell, John Moxley / Dean Ambrose. You see what I'm saying? So I hope I convince you on where I was coming from in my last video. Shut the fuck up. There's no parallels. Hell, Jim Ross compared John Moxley to fucking Stone Cold. So when will it end? So we got 3 Stone Cold cosplays. We got Adam Page. We got Eddie Kingston, John Moxley. Who else will be the next Stone Cold? Who else? That's it, man. I'm done.